Okay, good afternoon. My name is Nenye Uche, Nenye, last name Uche. I'm Jussie Smollett's lead attorney throughout the trial phase of this case up until this point, the Supreme Court's decision. To my right, your left is Shay Allen, Attorney Shay Allen, Sandra Gavazzi, Attorney Heather Waddell, and Tamara Walker, all attorneys. All have helped throughout this process. All have been very integral to this appeal and this team. Let me start off by saying this. Prosecutions should be based on facts. Prosecutions should not be based on vindictiveness. This was a vindictive persecution, not a prosecution. Let's not make any mistake about that. The Supreme Court was clear. The rule of law and due process have to remain the fundamental process for which the American jurisprudence is run. It is not run by public opinion. Now, we face a big challenge, defense attorneys all around the country, especially in the age of social media, where there's a mass dissemination of information that are not facts in evidence. And the big challenge is holding the line for the rule of law. And that's what exactly this court did, and we're very happy with the decision today. We're very pleased, but it was expected. We shouldn't be surprised. This is the law of the land in this particular state and all around America. And so that's where we are right now, and we'll take any questions from you.
I'd like to ask you a question.
Sure.
In terms of Jussie pursuing the city of Chicago. Is he still pursuing that case?
Well, that's a civil case. Today we're focused on the criminal appeal. And that criminal appeal, we have a unanimous decision from the Supreme Court, 5-0. Remember, there was no dissent. 5-0, saying he was treated unfairly, that this was an unfair process. And when you have an unfair process, you have a travesty of justice, which is exactly what happened here. And Jussie is back. I must say this. Jussie is back to where he was. He's presumed innocent. Remember, the jury's verdict is now null and void. Of course, that's not the jury's fault. They were impaneled. But this was an unfair proceeding, period. And so he's back to where he was. And so I would like, the real question now should be, you know, even though this is over now and Jussie absolutely wants to move his life forward, I think people should start asking questions. How did this happen? Why should this even happen? What can we do to make sure this doesn't happen again? And what were the facts that we never bothered to look at because everyone was distracted with public opinion? Please. Yes.
Dan Webb released a statement earlier today,
yes,
pointing to the fact that the Supreme Court didn't take issue with any of the facts of this case, and therefore this ruling has nothing to do with Jussie's innocence.
Yeah. Well, Dan Webb contradicted himself. He also mentioned that he disagreed with the Supreme Court's view of the facts and the law. So he said that. I read his statement. Statement is completely wrong, and he's been wrong all along. I have great respect for him as an attorney, but in this particular situation, he's completely wrong. And let me tell you why. You cannot say, hey, listen, the process is unfair. How we got here was wrong, but we're going to stick to the decision that was made from an unfair proceeding. That's not how it works. No one wants to be treated badly or unfairly, and then you say, we're going to pretend like we never did that. Yes, we did it. We were wrong. We're going to put that aside, but you're still guilty. It doesn't work like that. He's innocent, and that he's always maintained his innocence, and there have been strong, a mountain of reasonable doubt and evidence pointing to his innocence in this case that no one has bothered to take a look at. Yes.
Two questions.
Yes, sir.
One, what is the biggest misconception that you think is out there in the public? And two, let's say we had the same case, same set of circumstances, but it wasn't Jussie Smollett. It was Joe Blow off the street.
Yeah.
Do you think we would have seen a special prosecutor step in?
Okay, so answer the first part of your question. What is the one thing that people have gotten wrong? A lot of people believed he was guilty. That's wrong. None of us believe that. The evidence, in our opinion, showed that he was innocent, even though it's not ours to prove, right? But if you're to flip the coin and say, okay, it's not yours to prove, but is there reasonable doubt? A ton of reasonable doubt. And that's our position, that's our opinion. If this was the regular Joe down the street, this case would never even have gone to trial. No prosecutor would have taken this case to trial. It was ridiculous. There was no direct evidence linking him to anything, right? And so it's a shame that we're here. I feel it's completely disgraceful. And some of you have been here. You followed me with this case. I've always said the same thing. This has been disgraceful. I was born in the United States, but I grew up in a developing nation. This is the sort of prosecution you see in developing nations. People are mad. Prosecute a person. They prosecute a person. This shouldn't be happening in the United States of America. It's ridiculous.